Hey everyone, welcome back for part 2 of the beginner's tutorial, where I'm going to show you how to successfully dismantle everything in the dock that can be dismantled to gather enough scrap to turn into resource so that we can add, you know, wind turbines or solar power to keep our batteries charged. Organize our boat by putting up storage cabinets and things like that. Uh, and then I'm going to show you how you can successfully do this without dying because you run out of power. So let's get started. Let's get our health and our power fully up. So the one thing that I like to do when you go to start dismantling everything is I remove everything from my character. Let's go ahead and let's save the game. And what I mean by that is your character has a weight limit. If you look at the health bar at the bottom, the little box to the left, that's how much weight I'm carrying right now, and I'm at 32%. So that means that I only have 68% of weight that I can add to myself, and then I'm already at capacity. As you hit your capacity, your character movement slows down drastically, and the higher you keep going with your capacity, you get to the point that even when you're holding the left mouse button to sprint, you're barely walking. I mean, you're walking so slow, it takes you forever to get anywhere. So when you get ready to, when you finish your objectives at points of interest for quests and things like that, and you want to go ahead and scrap everything that's there, dismantle everything for the scrap, it's important that you go back to your boat and unload everything. And what I mean everything, when you get weapons, unequip them and then put them in a chest on your boat so that you have nothing on you, because as you get later on, your weapons do add weight to your person, and which takes away from how much scrap you can carry. So the way I like to do this is strategically, so I don't miss anything, is gotta empty my stuff out first, is I go all the way back down to the room that we woke up in, and I scrap everything out down there, and then I work my way up to the main dock to where we're at right now. So to unload everything, you just hover over the item, right click, and then drop it. Oh, we don't want to do the batteries. Alright, so as you see, if you look at my weight meter at the bottom, that took me from 32% down to 6%. I could go down more if I get rid of the batteries, but it's important that when you have batteries to keep them on you, especially in the beginning, because when you run low on juice, you can use a battery to refill your power to keep you going, unless you're close to your limit, and then you just run back and empty everything and then recharge it and go from there. So we're going to run all the way back down to the bottom to where we woke up at, and then we're going to dismantle everything down there. Okay, I'm going to turn this light off to save on power a little bit. Let's see what this battery's at. Hopefully it's not too low. Oh, we're real good. So when you're doing this, you're gonna have to come back here a couple, 3 times to recharge yourself. Now, if this battery runs low enough to where that elevator stops working, don't panic. There's ladders on the side that will get you all the way back up to the top. So, but if you don't want to use the ladder, you rather use the the elevator, make sure that as you charge yourself, that you don't let the power get any lower than about right here in that area. If it gets below that, there's a chance that the elevator could stop before you get to the top, and then you'll have to jump across to the ladder and take a risk of missing the ladder and then falling all the way down to your death. Alright, so let's start scrapping some stuff. Now, you want to turn the light on, scrap your beds out. These frames are important to scrap because they give you high-tech scrap, and I'll show you. So you mouse over it, you get high-tech scrap. That has a chance of giving you titanium, which is very important later on in the game, and it's kind of a rare resource. You don't see a lot of it. Let me go out here and show you. Where's it at? There it is, high-tech. Okay, so it has a chance of giving us carbon fiber or titanium or both. So anytime you see a bed frame that looks like that, that's got the sheep jumping over the fence, that's kind of interesting. You want to definitely dismantle it. If you're not going to dismantle everything at all the points of interest and you see one of these, you want to at least dismantle that to get that high-tech scrap, to get the chance of getting titanium. Because when you get to your, let me think here real quick. So when we leave here, they're going to tell us to go turn a beacon on. And when we get to the Lazarus station, you're going to need to repair one of the machines that grows our human. It takes 5 titanium and 5 carbon fiber, plus a whole list of other items. Pretty much all the resources that we gather, you'll need some of all of it, but you'll need at least 5 titanium and 5 carbon fiber to repair those. And there's not a whole lot between here and there where you can get that. Now, if you forget to do the bed frames here, if you don't, decide you don't want to scrap everything out, which you don't have to, you can still get the titanium between here and there. There are sharks that are in the water that if you shoot and kill the sharks and you dismantle them, you'll get 4 high-tech scrap from each shark. So if you hit enough of those between here, once you leave here, and by the time you get to the Lazarus station to repair that machine, you should have the titanium needed to do the repair. So let's continue. Wait, I think do we got more? Yes, we got more enhancer points to put in the scrapper. Okay, so now we gained another 5% on everything. Okay, so when you see these items in rooms, you want to kind of jump up and look on top, because a lot of times they like to hide stuff up there that you can collect and scrap. I don't see nothing on these, so we're done. We'll move to the next room and continue. Okay, I'm low on power, so I'll go charge up. Okay, and you want to be careful in the beginning doing these bed frames, because if you notice, look at the electric cost, 138 watts. That's a lot. Almost forgot about our scanner. Scan the table. Let me check some other stuff out here so we can scan this shelf over here. But you got to remember, it takes electricity to do that. We can do this chair. I don't think we can do these, no. We can do these little skids, or pallets, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I think that's it. So let's go back to grinding, or dismantling. Alright, so this room is done. Okay, and you can, what I do is I like to close the door to signify that I'm done with that room. I forgot to do this. Alright, so now let's check this room out. Not much any different than the other two rooms. Gotta go charge. So you're getting a good look at how aggravating, I guess you could say, it is to scrap things in the beginning like this, because you only have 500 watts of power, and everything until you get scrapper. That's why it's important to put points in scrapper first, because it reduces the power it takes to scrap things, as well as reduces how long it takes you to scrap the item, so you can scrap longer. Let me see if that's a different chair. Yep, it is. Table different? Nope. Always want to make sure to look in these little cubby holes, because there'll be stuff in there you can collect. A lot of they really like to put memories in there, which you'll need to enhance your humans when you grow them. All right, now before we do this, let me stand back here and show you. There's a little secret spot up there. You can see the plus for the battery. So just climb up the side of this and then jump across. Okay, and there's like some metal junk up here we can dismantle. Okay, and see, there's a bunch of batteries, so we'll collect those. Make sure there's nothing else up here, and then look around and make sure there's nothing else you can grab a hold of. Alright, and then just jump back down. Okay, we got some boxes over here. Remember, I said you'll see these throughout the game at all the points of interest that you're going to be going to. Just get close to them, press and hold E, and then you'll collect everything. So I'm going to show you the batteries. So I'm down at 21 watts. So I'll use up the batteries to fill my energy back up. So to do so, right click on the battery and then click use, and then it'll give you a charge. Or you can holster it. Whoops. Or you can holster it, and then all you have to do is just hit whatever number is you tie to that holster. Okay, there. So now I'm full of power, and it won't let me use another one because I'm full of power. So it'll say use no benefit, and it's graded out, so I can't click on it. So as you can see, I'm up to, well, 499. So because you're a robot, you're going to constantly be using power. So if you look to the very right of my power bar, or energy bar, it says in the parentheses minus 250 watts. That's how much power my robot's using just to be there. So you're constantly going to be draining power. And then as you get a higher level, and I think you'll use more power, I'm not 100% sure. And then when you turn the light on, You see it jumped up to 1.2 kilowatts, so it uses power too. So you have to be very, very mindful of all that when you're out and about. See how they got this little item in here? It's a broken mosquito we can dismantle. Okay, we were already up there, so there's nothing there. We got something in here. Alright, so we're done down here. So now let's go up here and do all this. Let's finish using those batteries. Okay, and then finish topping off with this battery. Okay, that side's done. So we are done down here, and before I go out there, let's top off my battery. And then we get the items in this little hallway. I think the hallway's done, yep. Okay, now we come into this room and turn the light back on. Okay, and while we're here, let's go ahead and save the game. So if we make a mistake and run out of power, we don't kill ourselves. Okay, and then now let's start on this room. Okay, and there's these type of cubby holes as well. As you can see, there's something. That's something new. What is that? Carbon black. A deep black pigment consisting of elemental carbon, and it can be used to create paint. Wow. I wonder how we do that. So I know they added paint in the game so that we can customize our ships. I didn't see this. Interesting. Can't wait to see what that's all about. Alright, I'm going to show you something with this metal plate. So you're going to come up to points of interest where you'll see a metal plate laying on the floor like this, or it'll be laying up against the wall, you know, perfectly flat against the wall. Sometimes it'll be one, sometimes it'll be two side by side. If you're not going to be dismantling everything at the points of interest like I'm showing here, at least when you run up on these, if you don't want to dismantle them, pick them up and move them, because there's a good chance that they're covering a hidden entrance that goes down into something that might have loot down in it, like memories and other stuff that you can collect. So you just mouse over it, hold the left mouse button to move the item and see if there's a door underneath it of some kind. And there are entrances to little cubby holes that are covered with plates like that. Oh, power. Got distracted. Help us with scrapping. And let's see what kind of new skills we can get. Alright, I'm not too fancy about any of those just right now, so I'm not going to use any points. Alright, let's continue. Like I mentioned earlier, if you happen to miss it, the reason that I'm not spending all my points every level when I get them is to make sure that I have the points to unlock items that I definitely want, because you don't get enough points to unlock everything as you level up. So you want to save your points for the items that you definitely want, and then when you get later on higher level, then you'll get to the point to where you don't really need anything anymore, and then you can start putting points in items, you know, that you might want, not really need. So I'm getting out of the way all the small items that take little power and are quick to dismantle. And I don't know if you heard that little faint beeping. That's telling me that I'm getting close to my capacity. As you can see to the right of my health bar looks like a weight that's flashing. And then you look at the box to the left of my capacity, I'm at 96%. So my capacity is 100 kilograms and I'm at 90.3. So I got a little bit more to go, but I'm going to go ahead and let's take this teddy bear. Go up to my boat so I can get rid of stuff, and then I'll recharge and heal while I'm there, and then we'll come back and finish. to heal ourselves, get some more juice. Like I mentioned, I'll go ahead and save the game while we're here. Anytime you go near one of these backup stations, it's always wise to back the game up so you don't lose anything. Alright, let's get some power. So as you can see, our batteries, well, they were up to capacity until I charged myself, but yeah, they're fully charged, which is what we want, so we can continue to do what we're doing. So eventually we're gonna have to get, oh, it's already low, it's already out. So let's grab some plastic. It's fine. Get the cables. What we're going to do is we're going to run a cable from this extender all the way around into that battery to get it charged so we can continue using the grinder. I forgot about doing that. Oh, I thought I had some in here. Okay, I'm going to show you something here. So I'm going to drop these 2 stacks I just got so they're not on my person. So if you're near resources like this, whether you got it laying here like I do until I get some chests, or if they're in their chests, if you're in the proximity of your resources, you can still build stuff. Like right now, I'm gonna build some more cable. I'm gonna build 2 sets of 5, and as you can see, it's building a cable, but I don't have any resources on my person. They're all laying right there, but it's using them to build the cables. And the same thing with your fabricator. Your fabricator, everything is done by proximity, which is kind of a good idea to use this room for your storage, or at least all around this area here, so that everything's in a proximity of your fabricator, so that when you make something, it'll pull the items from your storage to make the items, so you don't have to pull them out, put them on your person, and stand by your fabricator while it's making your items. This game, I tell you, it was very well thought out, and in my personal opinion, it's probably one of the better survival games, if you want to call it a survival game, out there. I say that because you're not really being chased by hostile mobs all the time, like a lot of other survival games that I've played. You have to, when you're out and about collecting resources, you have to like watch your back and your front and your sides, because there's animals out there that's going to come after you. Alright, so we built the hoses, cables, so let's pick up these. So we're going to need those to make more cable extenders. Then again, you get close, it highlights, press E to connect the cable. While the over here, we'll put an extender here. Connect our cable, direct the power. Let's move this guy. Okay. Oh. Connect our hose, cable. I don't know why I want to call it a hose. Then connect our power to the battery. Now again, until this battery gets fully charged, the power's going to freak out. It's weird why it does that. We're producing 1 megawatt of power. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, now the battery's charged. Now watch, now the power equals out. It's kind of dumb. pump does that. But anyways, all right. So let's charge back up again. Okay, then let's head back down there and we'll finish cleaning up that area. So I'm going to show something real quick. Over here is a battery. We got some food over here. A different kind of battery. So there's two ways you can carry these around. You can mouse over it and then pick it up like other items like this. Or you got to be careful because if you get too close, you'll connect the cable to it. Hover off to the side like this, press and hold E, and you'll actually pick the item up like that. So the advantage of those is you can use those to power an area. So like when you go to certain points of interest for a quest or just to explore an area, and you have, let me go back here and show you, and you have a power outlet like this, and there's no battery around, and you have to repair, you know, like we did on a roof, you have to repair a wind turbine or a solar panel. If you don't want to waste time doing that, just grab one of these batteries, drop it, place it next to your control panel, and then just connect the hose to it and turn the switch on. As long as you're not using an elevator, that one battery will keep the power on so you can see what you're doing the whole time you're there. But if you have an elevator you need to use, it will drain that battery. Like the elevator, how long this elevator goes, if I was to hook this battery up now, when we got to the top, it would probably drain the battery down to nothing. So they're good for just keeping the lights on, but they're not good if you need to use an elevator to go up and down like we do here. So I'll leave that here just in case we end up running out of battery juice, which I don't, if we do this right, we shouldn't. So let's finish tearing these down. Alright, so now we want to scan these. Should only have to do one of them. Yep. Okay. Alright, so let's take a quick once around the room to make sure that we didn't miss anything. And if you do want to scrap everything like I do, always pay attention around these beams like this or around these cabinets, as a lot of times they'll have an I-beam standing up, leaning up against the wall. I have missed a few times. There's usually nothing ever in these rooms. Alright, let's go back and charge up. Oh, and also you can use those batteries to charge yourself, which I won't do that. I want to save it. So let's this will probably be the last time we'll use this battery. Alright, so now this next room, so now that we're done here, we can go ahead and turn this light off to preserve power. So this next room here, we'll turn the light on in here. Where's it at? Over here. So we can see. You have a couple options. You can go ahead and grind everything up while you're here like we did in there, or You could pile everything on this elevator, go to the very top, and dismantle everything up there so that you're just a short run from there to the power where your boat is. So that's the option I want to choose. Because my whole point here is I want to show you how to dismantle everything here while trying to conserve as much power as possible. And showing you that it's possible to do. Remember, in the beginning, these large crates were not yet strong enough to lift them very high. But these little ones we can. As you can see, I just lifted it up over the railing. Okay, these are bigger so we can scan these. I think they're both the same. Yep. Oops, dropped it. I think these tables are the same. Let's check. Yep, so is the chair. Knock it off there. Oh, you stupid thing. Get down there. There we go. You grab the chair. Set it up here on the top. Put the monitor up there. Whoops. Grab that duffel bag. Up here too. Or maybe not. Alright. There's another battery. Wow, that table's heavy. Well, what in the world? There we go. Alright, let's get this robot dude in there. This item. Alright, these things we'll have to grind up here. We'll probably have to do all that here, so that's not too bad. We'll have the power to do that here. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, we can scan these. Alright, so that should be everything in this room now. So let's go back and grab that little battery, the portable battery. I think I can charge it up, it'll be enough. So again, be careful how you position your cursor. You want to be off to the side. You want to make sure that that's not lit up, and then press and hold E to pick it up. Alright, so we're done here, so we can say goodbye to this area. It's our home away from home. Say goodbye to all this, turn the light out. Climb up in here and go to the top. And hope the battery lasts. Uh-oh. And we made it. So now, if you look, while we dismantle all that stuff, it's just a short run over to empty everything into the grinder and to repower, instead of going up and down the elevator all the time. Alright, so now we start working on it. Charge up. Go ahead and dump our inventory while we're here. Battery. power. That's done. Now we can work on this room here. This is where that ladder comes up I was telling you about. If you happen to use up too much battery and the elevator stops, this ladder goes all the way down to the bottom. Power. Let's check and see if these are the same that was downstairs. Yep. Check this real quick. These are all the same. Alright. This is what I meant when you have beams that are leaning up against the wall, that if you're not paying attention and you want to scrap everything, they can be easy to miss. Okay, this room is now done, so we can turn the light off and move on. Ooh, juice. Wasn't paying attention again. One downside to this is it's a long, tedious process. You want to have a good supply of resources before you start to venture out. It's worth doing in my mind. There's another good example of a beam standing up against the wall that if you're not paying attention, it can be easily missed. Okay, it's done now. We're in the main dock room. So we're making progress. There's another way how beams can be hidden, laying like right up against the railing like this. Out of power again. That was fast. That time. We better go heal. I guess this is a good time of any to show that button on the top. So all extenders in the game for electric, gas, oxygen, and so forth, and water, they all have a button on the top. And as you can see, it's growing green. When you press E when you're moused over it, you turn it off, it turns red. So as you can see, the power stopped flowing. So as you get to certain points of interest, when you have to build things to power up the area, if you want to not leave it running when you leave the point of interest, then just turn the extender off so that the power stops flowing. And then if you ever go back and you want to turn the power back on, then you just push the button and turns the power on. This will come in useful when you get to the point where there's an oil rig in the game, where you'll take over the oil rig so that you can extract the oil to make fuel. So you'll have to build all kinds of stuff there to do that, you know, a refinery, windmills, batteries, all kinds of stuff. So when after you refine the fuel and fill all the tanks on your ship, when you're done, if you don't want everything to continue to run, then you just turn the main power off to all the items, and then they won't run. While we're here, we'll go ahead and save the game. So now we work on moving forward. So here's a good time to show this. If you start dismantling something and you see loose items on the floor, you can collect those while you're dismantling an item. So I'll dismantle this metal container, and then while you're doing that, press and hold E, and then you'll pick up the items next to it, just like this. Always look under ladders and steps. There could always be hidden loot down there. look up. Sometimes there'll be things to dismantle up above. Make sure there's nothing else up there. What's this little thing? Power. Batteries on top. Oh, I'm going to show you a trick here real quick. See how much cable I have. Oh, I got plenty. So a little trick you can do when you're near a permanent power supply or power source. Let's get rid of all my scrap. Is so that you don't run out of power is connect to it and then connect it to you. Make sure the power's flowing into you, and then now as you scrap things, you'll never run out of power. As you see, if you watch my power bar, it'll use it, and then it'll instantly fill it back up. This is kind of a little secret room. It's got some stuff in here. Okay, when you have the cable attached to you like this, the only thing that you can't do is what I call a proximity loot, where I got all this loot I can pick up. You do that by pressing and holding E. When you do that with the cable connected to you, you'll disconnect the cable. I'll show you. See, and it won't pick up any of the items. So we'll connect it. So the way to do that is just click on each item individually, press E to pick them up. So we'll have to come back and get those, because the only way to pick those up is to press and hold E. Alright, so then go down below. Uh-oh. Cable's not going to reach. Let's get this side while we're here. Another jar of pigment. Alright. Maybe I can make it reach. So I'll come up here, and then I'll let the cable hang. I'll go down here and get this stuff. Alright. Now, on top of here, we want to go up here. There's nothing up here, but if you turn around, there's a little cubby hole up there. So you jump across here. Whoops. And then you can loot this stuff up here. to us. Okay, we're done up here. So I'll grab the cable. Let's go down below. And then we can plug into this source here to do all this. I see another can of paint. Well, I forgot about that. Here's the fourth bed frame that I was talking about earlier that has a chance of giving us our fourth titanium, or our fourth piece of titanium, so that we only need to find one to make that repair at the Lazarus station. Alrighty. Oh, we got some more here. Now I'm going to show something here real fast. So, whoop, grab it. No, grab it. Put that back on here. Okay, so when you're done transferring liquids or power to your boat, when you're done, if you grab the cable while you're holding it, if you press and hold the Q button, it'll unhook the cable from the other end, and then you'll collect the whole cable, just like this. And then you're done. Now, something else I want to show you. When we're done, you don't need this diesel tank to stay here anymore because it's empty. You can dismantle it However, watch what happens when I pull out my dismantle tool and hover over the tank. Okay, see what it says at the bottom? Warning, no known pattern for item, unable to extract all parts. So if we dismantle it now, all we'll get is a connector port, an alloy frame, and a storage cylinder. So the reason it says that is because we don't have the skill unlocked to build the diesel tank. We won't be able to unlock that until level 8, which will be long gone from here before we get to that level. We should be gone before that. So that is your choice. If you want to dismantle it now, that's fine. It's your choice. Or if you want to wait until you unlock the skill so that when you do dismantle it, you'll have a chance of getting as much items from it as possible. And I think, let me look real quick. Does it say what it takes? Yeah, so the only thing that we would be missing is one connector port, one alloy frame, and the filtering system. So you're basically losing about 50% of what you could get if you learn the skill. So it's just food for thought that when you go to dismantle stuff, just make sure and pay attention to the little window there, that if you don't have the skill unlocked to be able to build an item, if you can build the item like this tank, that you're not going to get all the parts when you dismantle it. Oops. Alright, so let's move on. So we're done down here. So there's another area there, but I want to wait to go up in there because there's these little critters up in there. They're kind of a pain in the butt. So let's unhook this cable. Go up here and we'll empty out our scrap. So we're making progress. I can't remember. Let's go see if there's stuff up here. I can't remember. Oh, there's a robot. Yep, there's some stuff up here.
Cockpit systems include navigation,
Not much.
diagnostics,
All right.
and the Pico terminal.
Let's go and load this in the grinder. Tables are different. Yeah. Or no, they're the same. So when I'm done here, I'm going to collect all that resource machine, and that easily will get us to level 5. Which will allow us to unlock the gun, and then I can go in that little cubby hole down there. Collect it all. Level 5. Might even get level 6. And now you're going to get to see just how slow you move when you're overburdened with weight. Yes, we're gonna hit level 6. Nice. Alright, so you see I'm 100% overburdened. And holy smokes, I have 237.8 kilograms. And my capacity is 100, so watch how slow I walk. This is with sprint enabled. This is slow. Thank goodness it's just a short walk to the boat. Imagine being like all the way down to the room that we started in and having to walk all the way up to the boat to get unloaded. Oh, I ground that afterwards. Alright. That's everything. Alright, let's do our enhancer points. Let's fill out scrap. Let's see what new skills. Well, definitely want the gun. Definitely want the backpack. Definitely want the upgraded light. Definitely want the hull stabilizer. Definitely want the bigger storage until we get to the big one, which is not till all the way down to level 11. And then I want to unlock both stage 2 of for the engine. And that's it for now. Alright. So let's power this up. And let's make the gun. So when you unlock an item that takes items like this, instead of actual resources to build, it unlocks a new line in your build menu called item/part, and then these items take resources that you scrap for. That's why I was saying it's important that you scrap as much as you can, because these items can take quite a bit of resource to make. So to make a gun, we need one alloy frame. So you right click on it. Well, you click on it and make sure you have the resource. So we need 2 iron and 2 plastic. So you right click and then hit build. It'll put it in queue and have that little 1 in the top right. Then you click back on the gun and we need 1 storage cylinder. Just right here. Click on it. I got the resources. Click build. Right click it and then click build. Click back on the gun. I need 1 cooling radiator. Just right here. Click on it. We have the resource. Right click it and then hit build to build it. Now when you're building an item like this, to where you have to build these items, you don't have to collect them. Just once they're done built, you really don't even have to wait till they're done built. Once you have them in queue, then you can go ahead and click on the item you want to build, like the gun, right click it and then hit build. It'll put it in queue, and then when it's done making these items up here that's required for the gun, once it's finished making those, then it'll make the gun. So then here's our ammo, which we automatically learn once you unlock the gun. You right click on, or left click on it. We need copper. We have plenty of it. It takes 2. So the way it makes the ammo is the gun holds 12 rounds. So when you make ammo, for each time you build one ammo, it makes 12 rounds of ammo. So it's making 12 rounds of ammo for 2 copper. So I'll do it one time. So then it tells you over here in the queue, in the parentheses, it shows a 12. That's how many, uh, that's how much ammo it's making in this one build. So when it's done building, you're gonna be laying here. You pick it up, open up your tab menu, hover over the pistol, right click, and then add the holster to, and it puts it down here. And then as you can see on the little mini display there where it says pistol flex, and it's got a 12. So the big number is how much is in the gun ready to fire. The small number, the little 0, that's how much you have on your person. So right now it says 0. I'll collect this box and then it should jump up to 12. There. So now I have 12 in the gun and then 12 on my person. So let's make a bunch more. So when I make the ammo, you right click, I always do build 5. So then it builds 5, so it'll sit there and it'll build 60 of them, because 5 times 12 is 60 in that one time, and then I just keep doing it just to get them in queue, because you can never have too much ammo. So I'll let it make a couple more. There's the little progress bar up there at the top as it's making the item. Some items it takes a minute to build them, sometimes it's really quick. Alright, that should be enough to get us going. So let's go up and we'll go in that little secret opening here. So we'll break out our grinder, grind the gate of the vent, jump up in there. Saying there's also items you can pick up. So what I do when crawling through these, when I get to the first item, I press and hold E to pick it up, and then I continue to hold E as I walk through here. That way it's going to constantly pick up items that are on the ground for you to pick up. Just like that. Now there's them little creatures right there. So you pull out your gun, aim, and shoot them. I always reload after I kill everything. That way I'm ready for the next group. And then they drop like little biomass stuff. You want to pick all that up. And you'll see, you know, later on. And this should lead to like a little room. Yep, right there. It's got loot. And let's grind up what's in here. Okay. Now let's head back out. Get your gun ready in case there's more that were hidden somewhere. Never be too prepared. Alright. So now to holster your gun, you just press the letter Q. That way it's holstered, it's not out. Alright, so we're done in the main dock area. So now we can continue on. And, whoop. go up here and we'll finish up here at the top. That might be a different table. Yep. Box of goodies. There's another good example of how they can stack a beam up there, and if you're not paying attention, it can be easily missed. I'm just gonna check. Nope. Alright, let's heal up real quick to save the game. Okay. So, whoop. Forgot I was gonna do that. Alright, let's jump up in here and get that robot. I think that was it. Alright, so we are done with dismantling everything from the room we started in all the way up to the main dock area here. So I hope that gives you an idea on how you can dismantle everything when you have very limited resources to do so. How to manage your power, how to, you know, get back, to get charged up, get rid of your scrap, turn it into resources. So it's one of the main important aspects of the game is as you're traveling to and from is make sure to unlock your hand grinder when you hit level 2 and then equip it to an action bar, you know, however you want to do that, you know, hotkey it, you know, to however you like so that it's easy for you to use, and then use that instead of using your grinder as much as possible because you'll gain a lot more XP that way. But it's important that you dismantle as much stuff as you can early on just to make sure that you have the resources, because when you get to some points of interest for quests or just to explore, sometimes you are going to have to build windmills or solar panels to power the area, because A, they're not going to have them there, or B, the power usage is going to be greater than what those little batteries that I showed you guys earlier can handle, and it'll drain them too quick, and then you could get stuck and stranded, you know, someplace to where the only way out is to jump to your death and start over from, you know, your last save point. So I hope that this helped you out as far as, you know, how to get going, what to do, you know, how to use your scrap tool, what to do with the scrap once you get it. You always want to put it in your grinder. That's how you turn it into the resources that you need to build stuff. And you know, how to manage your power cables so they look good unless it doesn't bother you. You know, if you got them strung everywhere. How to place cable extenders while holding a cable. So yeah, I hope some of it was somewhat helpful for you. And I'm going to conclude this video, and I'll make another part 3 video to where there's a whole bunch more stuff we can clean up on the roof. And then at the same time, there's also some secret or hidden areas that I'll point out in that video as well. So stay tuned and look for that video once it's done. And or you can, if you're not worried about finishing the cleanup of dismantling everything on the outside of the dock, you can just skip that video and go on to the next video for when we leave port. Thanks for watching and take care.